floating. You're floating. Just started floating.
Fighting the pole of the mud with his boom extended, Mitch could shock and tip the rotator.
There you go, it's coming.
He needs to slide the trailer sideways.
Bring it a little closer to the road.
Bring her in another little bit.
Yeah.
You're happy with that there?
Yeah, we're up, yeah.
All right, well, we'll set her down nice and easy.
Now that we got the back of the trailer up on some solid ground, we're gonna move Mitch up with the rotator. Then as it gets closer to the road, I'll have my truck hooked to the front and we'll just winch with him and see how easy it comes up.
It's soggy, everything's just wet, and there's not really a whole lot of like stability to anything. It sits there solid for a couple of minutes, and all of a sudden it can just kind of let go. Yeah, you're welcome. We get the guys that go by and tell us where to go, and the horns going and everything else, but that's our job, is to get that highway reopened. Let's go.
Once again, he'll be battling heavy suction from the mud.
Hey, Mitch!
Yo! What?
Watch your leg, yeah?
The back one?
I just gotta keep my eyes on those legs and stay in communication with him.
Getting higher.
It's getting up there? It's coming now. How's my legs, Fame?
Yeah.
We're out of the mud. Ready?
Now it's up to Bill to straighten the tractor so he can pull it forward.
Just like that, Billy. That's perfect, buddy. We're right in sync. That's awesome. You comfortable with that?
The last stage is the most critical. The mud is still pulling, and the ground is far from solid.
That's sketchy.
It's all fresh dirt. You just kind of gotta keep pulling and hope it starts coming.
Well, he's gonna pick it up and he's gonna start driving out. We're gonna keep a close eye on the back to make sure it doesn't dog track back into that ditch.
And see what happens.
Okay.
Bill needs to steer the trailer free before it slides down the crumbling slope.
It's something that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit. Billy. No. Whoa.
I thought I had my moderate to severe ulcerative colitis under control. Turns out, it was controlling me. Seemed like my symptoms were taking over our time together. I knew I needed to talk to my doctor.
Think you'll make it?
That's when I learned Humira can help get and keep UC under control when other medications haven't worked well enough. And it helps people achieve control that lasts, so you can experience few or no symptoms.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections. Serious and sometimes fatal infections, including tuberculosis and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Be there for you and them. Ask your gastroenterologist about Humira. With Humira, control is possible.
Brushing only reaches 25% of your mouth. Listerine cleans virtually 100%, helping to prevent gum disease and bad breath. Never settle for 25%. Always go for 100. Bring out the bold.
Hold my pouch.
Trust us. Us kids are ready to take things into our own hands. Don't think so? Hold my pouch. We love the new apartment.
The natural light is amazing.
Hardwood floors.
There is a bit of a clogging problem.
At least Geico makes it easy to bundle our renters and car insurance.
Yeah, helping us save even more.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
Boss, whoa, back check. Get the flavors they want and the goodness you'll love. Together with Sunmade.
Go, you're gonna be late. Mom, bag check.
Sunmade, raisins, yogurt-covered, and sour fruit snacks made delicious with whole fruit.
In this world where people are staying at home, many of life's moments are being put on hold. At Carvana, we understand that for some, getting a car just can't wait. That's why the new way to buy and sell a car is also the safer way. At Carvana, you can do it all 100% online from home, with a touchless delivery and pickup process to keep you safe. And for even greater peace of mind, all Carvana cars come with a 7-day return policy. Shop now and get up to 90 days to make your first payment. Check out Carvana, the safer way to buy a car.
Not even our competitor's best battery can match the power of Energizer, because Energizer Ultimate Lithium is the longest-lasting AA battery in the world. Energizer, backed by science, matched by no one.
To get the most out of your mornings, you need to know what weather is heading your way. America's Morning Headquarters has you covered.
We've already got some rain out there this morning.
So start every day with the best in weather. Join Jim Cantori, Stephanie Abrams, and Jen Carfagno weekday mornings on the Weather Channel.
This is Kate.
Hey.
She takes 2 prescriptions. Kate's son Jack takes 1 too. Kate works hard and thought she had good insurance, but she still pays too much. That's no good. So Kate downloaded the GoodRx app. Now she can compare prescription prices to find the best discounts. She even beats her insurance price. Good for you, Kate. Good for you. GoodRx. Stop paying too much for your prescriptions. Download the free app today.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to financial compensation. If you or a loved one used Roundup weed killer and were diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, call the number on your screen now.
Call 800-827-2607.
Today we actually have an excellent forecast.
200 miles southwest of Toronto.
High COAs, excellent visibility, light wind.
The OPP is taking off on a high-altitude patrol. Pilot Ben Allen and Airborne Enforcement Officer Chris Hogg are heading over Chatham toward the 401.
2310. We'll await directions from our officer up in the air in the helicopter.
Constable Matthew Early will be ready to respond to any violations.
Due to the device he has up in the actual helicopter, he can tell us the distance that 2 trucks are spaced apart.
That's interesting. Let's get a little closer. Look at that. I couldn't get a car between them.
3 tractor trailer, black truck trailer. It's very dangerous because at any moment, if one of those vehicles has to come to a stop, we're gonna have a multi-vehicle collision. 2310-4. What's the location now?
Just coming up to the overpass now.
So see that black trailer? That's what we're gonna pull over. So he's been following this transport trailer much too close. You can see right now, he's only about 1 car length behind it. Hi there, sir. I just stopped you today just for following the other transport truck there too closely. It's a follow too close ticket. Okay, do you have any questions about what to do with this? Okay, drive safe. Take care. Mission accomplished. What we're doing is important because of how many commercial motor vehicle collisions we have on this highway. So every person that's seen a tractor trailer pulled over today thinks twice about their own driving patterns, their own driving behavior.
It's something that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up a little bit.
Back on a soft bank on the westbound 401.
Billy, no.
Mitch and Bill Wright are facing one last assault from the muddy terrain.
Whoa. When I went to pull ahead, it kind of went back towards the ditch.
We had to stop and rethink what we were going to do from there.
Right where we think that we're at the point where we can take a breath and we've almost, finished this job, bang, it happens again. He's gonna have to hook to it, I think, and then we're gonna pick it up and move it over a couple more inches just to be safe. With how soft the ditch is right now, we have minutes to get this done. Mitch, you're floating. Both. Both? This one a couple inches, that one ½ inch. Can you boom in at all or no? Yeah, hold on. Ooh, Bessie. Yeah, I think you're good there. Yeah. That went as well as it could have went. That was dope, dude. The second that we got that thing up into the safe zone, it felt like 1,000,000 pounds coming off our back. I mean, that was the test. It's the monkey off our back.
And they did it, relying only on one another.
How many times do you think Dad's called me? How many? 8. Oh my God.
And phone call number 9 has just come in.
Hey, what's up? We're just finishing up now and it was actually perfect, so. Yeah, he did actually, very good job. Very impressed. Pretty impressed with how Mitch did. He knows his truck really well, and that kind of surprised me, actually. I think on this one, we worked fantastic together. Yeah. The dynamic with family doesn't always go the right way, and I think we worked almost perfectly in sync on this. My dad's going to be super proud of us and how we did. You can have that trust that, his boys are going to take care of business while he's gone.
We call this rapid deceleration.
Next time on Heavy Rescue 401.
Okay, Eric, on you.
Eric.
Don't move.
Goes under.
Do not move. Go.
A dump truck.
This is a mess.
Slams into rush hour traffic.
Reds, release, release, release.
And an icy night.
Wow.
Snow, ice, guys flying by us at 100 miles an hour.
Is a bus.
Look at the front bumper.
In Cornwall.
We're taking you inside the eye of a violent hurricane in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico.
We're standing in the lobby, and then all of a sudden, boom.
That tests the courage of a veteran storm chaser. A popular tourist destination in Tennessee turns into a raging inferno.
We may not make it out of this alive.
And it seems like no one is safe when a powerful tornado tears through Moore, Oklahoma.
I had the thoughts going through my head at the time that I may be getting sucked out of this.
World's wildest weather. Catastrophic events caught on camera by those who were in the middle of them. Our expert meteorologists explain the science behind this extreme weather and show us why it's so dangerous. Hurricanes, cyclones, typhoons, different names, but the same storm. They are some of the most powerful forces on Earth. These violent swirling storms can be over 500 miles wide. Most originate over the warm tropical waters just north of the equator.
A hurricane is defined by having sustained wind speeds of 74 miles per hour or greater. So 74 mile per hour wind speed alone is going to be dangerous because there'll be flying debris. We know it's enough to do damage to less well-built structures. But it's more than wind. Hurricanes typically bring very heavy rainfall with them and also surge if you're along the coastlines. That's water from the ocean itself moving inland with the forward momentum of this hurricane as it's making landfall. So it's really a threefold threat: wind, rain, and storm surge.
In September 2014, the resort town of Cabo San Lucas, off the coast of Baja California, experienced one of the most catastrophic hurricanes in history, Hurricane Odile, and it came with little warning.
Well, hurricanes, they tend to form basically over the very warm waters of the North Atlantic. They essentially come off the coast of Africa as a bit of an easterly wave, and that's exactly what happened with Odile.
The ocean is always a needed component for you to get a hurricane or a tropical system because it's the fuel for that system. Otherwise, you just have a regular complex of thunderstorms that you can get over land or over ocean. But the ocean is what's providing that tremendous amount of energy and moisture to turn it into a cyclone.
Storm chaser Josh Morgaman travels the world, putting himself in life-threatening situations so he can document extreme weather conditions. So it's no surprise that he heads to Cabo.
I go to Cabo San Lucas a lot. It's a popular resort city. It's close to Southern California. And the thing about Cabo is that it gets threatened by hurricanes a lot. They come close. Sometimes they hit the city, but they're never that bad. So as Hurricane Odile approached, people didn't seem too worried. No one was covering their windows. No one was rushing out to get food and water. People were just kind of like whatever about it. And they had no idea what was coming.
It quickly went from disorganized to then getting its act together to then being a major hurricane right off the coast of Baja California.
We're driving around Cabo San Lucas, wind rapidly picking up. It's just it's about 7:25, and we feel like the core of the hurricane is closing in. So as the hurricane was approaching Cabo San Lucas, we had an idea that the center was going to cross the coast very close to our hotel. Meaning kind of the east side of the city, and we wanted to get right where that center was, so we decided, hey, let's just ride it out in our hotel. And we ended up being right. We hit the bullseye. The exact center of the hurricane passed right over us. Wind's blowing like crazy. They're starting to really whistle. The trees are bending almost 45 degrees. I think stuff's going to start to break.
Well, after basically mingling and running its way across the Atlantic for several days, it eventually turned into a Category 3 hurricane with winds up to around 125 miles per hour. Didn't stop there, kept strengthening, got up to Category 4 strength, and those winds really got destructive. This was a beast of a system.
It was raining really hard, and then the howling started to get more like a rumbling, and you started to feel in the gusts that, okay, this is getting serious. This is not a normal storm. The building started to rattle a little bit, and as we went into late evening, it got worse and worse. The wind was just pounding at the front doors of the lobby, and we did everything we could to keep the wind out. We kept piling more and more furniture against those doors, but it didn't matter. The wind just kept blowing everything aside.
It's 9:20 p.m. and the hurricane is ramping up.
And there was no holding that wind back. It kept just like pushing everything out and coming back in. And finally, we just gave up. And it was basically like the hurricane decided that it was going to own that lobby.
Just after 10 o'clock, we're probably getting the strongest winds we've had all night. We're hearing roaring, screaming sounds of an airplane going by. That's a sign of very high winds. Oh, we just lost a big window.
And when you can't even keep the front doors closed and they just blow off and the wind is like coming in, you know, people started to feel worried, like, okay, this is not a safe place anymore. And then all of a sudden, we noticed that it started to get quiet. And in a few minutes, it was totally calm. It was just quiet. And we walked outside the hotel, and just the wreckage was unbelievable. Just looks like it went through a blender. These pillars have just been torn out. Being in the eye of a hurricane, it's weird because it's so calm that you almost forget that you're in the exact center of a violent storm. You literally almost forget that you're only halfway through it and that you have to go back through that craziness again to get out. So we're in the calm eye, and all of a sudden it was like someone flipped a switch. And the wind just went from 0 to hurricane force in like a minute. And it was roaring, and we're hearing these popping sounds that sounded like gunshots. And we're standing in the lobby, and then all of a sudden, boom,
November 2016. A wildfire is burning on Chimney Tops, a popular summit in the Great Smoky Mountains. Chimney Tops is located over 3,000 feet above downtown Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's been burning for several days, and initially authorities think that there's nothing to worry about, thinking the fires will just burn themselves out. However, a cloud of smoke is now choking the town. Still, the fires are burning several miles away from Gatlinburg, making authorities believe there's no immediate danger to the people living in the area. Anthony Fulton and his stepbrother Michael Luciano live in the mountains about 4 miles above downtown Gatlinburg. They say November 28, 2016 started as a pretty normal day.
You really didn't know if anything was wrong. When you called the police department or you called or asked any official, in Gatlinburg, everything was told to us, it's okay. It's just the fire in the park. It's burning. It'll burn itself out.
So usually a wildfire occurs when we've had a time of drought, a long period of time where the ground hasn't had a lot of water come in, so it's extremely dry. Then we get very low relative humidities on any given day, below 20%, so very little moisture in the atmosphere.
Well, earlier in that day, we had reports of fires up on the chimney tops. And we were responsible for trying to help and assist as needed. We had our crews in the area ready to go. And then as time went on, we started to get more calls and realized that this is something that was going to be extremely serious.
Wildfires are actually very rare in the Great Smoky Mountains, as it's normally too wet. However, this autumn has been the hottest and the driest in Gatlinburg history. The drought combined with strong winds are knocking down power lines and the likely cause of what follows, electrical fires.
As we drove through Gatlinburg, Gatlinburg had more smoke. It was very unhealthy. People were walking around with masks on their face. And we saw that and we were thinking, we didn't really know what to think. Decided to go outside and investigate with the cell phone and start filming. You can hear trees falling in the background, electrical transformers blowing up. Look, there's an ember. Wow, this is really bad.
Hey Boston. Hey Atlanta. Hola Miami. Hi New York. Hey LA. Chicago. Hey America.
Trust me, you're gonna love this. Come on.
2 tablespoons of sugar.
But kind of near average all-round.
This is the place to be.
Something for everyone. Local now. Download for free in your favorite app store.
We're open and ready to help your small business any way we can. Everything for small business. And of course, shipping. TheUPSStore.com.
When it comes to longevity,
burning for several days above them. Initially, authorities tell them there's nothing to worry about. The fire should burn itself out. But Michael and Anthony are starting to worry.
It was just an eerie combination, and you kind of had that weird gut feeling that just something wasn't right. And as I was filming the smoke, I saw a very small ember.
I said, I don't see nothing. He says, look on my phone. I see a hot ember coming from the sky. And I look on his phone and I said, holy cow.
Look, there's an ember. Wow. This is really bad.
It's now 8:30 p.m., and there's already been an electrical fire on the mountain road. Michael and Anthony are getting anxious that the fire is spreading.
Something was burning close. With the winds that we had at that time, there were 40 to 50 miles per hour. And that's when me and Michael made a decision. We need to get on the four-wheelers and scout out and see what is burning.
And about 400 yards from where we're sitting, fire truck, Twin Oaks. And I called 911 and requested a fire truck. They told me a fire truck was on the way, and they hung up on me.
Well, wildfire is a fire that burns through the wild. Essentially, you've got brush fires, grass fires, and these things can get out of control under very dry conditions, and they burn through everything, whether that be trees, vegetation, homes, cars, you name it, it's going through it, and nothing's going to stop it unless Mother Nature decides, hey, okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of wind to calm down or give you a bit of rain. Otherwise, firefighters are at the mercy of that fire.
At that time, I told myself it's time to get the hell out of here. You know, this fire with this wind, it is approaching quickly, and this is something that we need to get out of here. There's no way of playing with this at all. We need to get what we can out of here as fast as we can.
You knew the fire was coming. You didn't know if help was coming. We raced into the house and we grabbed what we cherished the most. We were in survival mode. We didn't know how big the fire was. We didn't know what caused it. You know, it was just terrible.
Believe it or not, the truck was loaded down with 10 gallons of fuel and jerry cans. Basically, we looked at each other and we were grabbing what we could. We thought that property was going to catch because of the winds and the approaching fires.
Michael and Anthony now have to navigate 4 miles of treacherous mountain road to try and get to safety.
We are now evacuating as Chalet Village is on fire. And we start driving through it. That worrisome fear from being inside the house, you know, are we going to make it through what we just saw? That really kicked in. The heat driving through the fire was one of the most concerns I had. Go, 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 go. That shit about these tires aren't me. Go. Can't see. Just hit the gas. Oh, God.
The smoke was deep and heavy as we were approaching the fires, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I actually had to turn the headlights off and turn the fog lights on. And that's how thick it was. And I still could not see nothing in front of me.
I can't see. You can see.
The rapidly moving inferno spreads to their area in less than 30 minutes and is now stretching across a 15-square-mile radius.
If you would have been walking out there for 5 or 6 minutes, even in an area that wasn't affected, one wind shift would have just changed it all for you. You would have perished. We're not going to make it across the road. Oh. Good. It really wasn't a wall of fire. It was more of a tornado of fire. The winds had picked up by this time. They were, you know, approaching 80, 90 mile an hour in the higher elevations where we're at. Oh, God, that was a beautiful cabin, too. Oh, yeah. What was amazing was, as we were driving down, it was the cabins. Every single, nearly all of them were on fire.
I was thinking, I'm just getting off this mountain, I'm surviving.
Hit the gas, hit the gas. The smoke is starting to affect your lungs, and this is just driving down. You're in a vehicle. That's like our spacecraft. If we lose that spacecraft, we may not make it out of this alive.
Well, you had reports of winds that were getting up into the 85, 87 mile per hour range, just incredible winds that really took place. So when you're dealing with wind like that, switching directions as well, that fire really begins to spread. And with such strong winds, it ended up knocking down trees. Those trees were now on the ground, so now it's a domino effect. Now you've got more trees burning as the fire continues to rage.
Go, go, go. Let them hit a flat right now. Go through it. Go through it. I can't. We cannot be stuck.
With Land's End swim separates, you can mix and match to pick the fit, coverage, and style that's perfect for you. Land's End. We suit every body.
Mornings were made for better things than rheumatoid arthritis or psoriatic arthritis. When considering another treatment, ask about Xeljanz XR, a once-daily pill for adults with moderate to severe rheumatoid arthritis or active psoriatic arthritis for whom methotrexate did not work well enough. It can reduce pain, swelling, and significantly improve physical function. Xeljanz can lower your ability to fight infections like TB. Don't start Xeljanz if you have an infection. Taking a higher than recommended dose of Xeljanz for RA can increase risk of death. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, cancers, including lymphoma, and blood clots have happened, as have tears in the stomach or intestines, serious allergic reactions, and changes in lab results. Tell your doctor if you've been somewhere fungal infections are common, or if you've had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Don't let another morning go by without asking your doctor about Xeljanz XR.
It's a challenging market. Edward Jones is well aware of that, which is why we're ready to listen and ready to help you find opportunity.
So, let's talk.
Edward Jones, it's time for investing to feel individual.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do. Call us at 1-800-872-1755. That's 1-800-872-1755. Or go to mesobook.com.
The Dexcom tells me my numbers every 5 minutes, and it also tells me which way I'm going.
I can just look at my phone and see my numbers in real time.